to that video. We thank Allah. That's the Lagos district of the Amir of the companion, Alhaji Olaiwola Abdulkadir Baruwa, giving his welcome address. There's no doubt in the ME and MS. That's a micro, small, medium enterprises. Thank you so much, Amir, for the revealing, comprehensive, concise welcome address. We welcome the guests who have come while the speech was on their way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward each and every one of us. As our leader, our father has been introduced, who is going to be leading us today in this session, Dr. Hamid Tunde Kokola, FCA. I will be calling on him. He will be addressing us in his capacity as the chairman of this occasion. Dr. Kokola, sir. Take
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let me start. Let me use the parlance always used by the public sector people. They said they stand on existing protocol already well established by our league. But then the costs are also part and parcel of the company. I will use the opportunity to greet our meal, to greet the Naibia meal, to greet our distinguished speaker of today, and I've seen our leaders, our total company already they want to live by day. And of course, the criterion and other associations and Muslim brothers and sisters in Islam. Once again, I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let me start by congratulating the Amir for a successful tenure of 2 years in the best instance. Well, I don't know which one of it is wow. I'm sure that I can be doing or you don't say in school when you fail, you repeat. But in an organization when you perform well, you repeat. So, thank you so much for steering the course of our association. Thank you for the sacrifices because I know what it takes. I've been there before. Now when you lead, there are so many things that you have to sacrifice. But I also know that as you make those sacrifices, they are included. So we have to properly recognize you. Other people. I remember when we came to Lagos in 1991, we joined the company, and he was one of those very, very focused, respected imams. If you don't know, he offered one prayer one day. He lay and I Ibrahim Besodi. I think one person was going to go on march, and he said, and he over that day, the following year, almost 10 members of the company went to Hajj. Including myself and my wife, Allah, Thank you. Sir, thank you, ma'am. I also want to thank my companion Lagos for finding me worthy to chair this session. And I think it's very instructive that I'm chairing a session that is speaking to a subject that was when I took on the leadership of Abuja Enterprise Agency. Since that time, any MSME is very dear to me. Not to also forget that even my first year, my undergraduate project was on SME in the university in 1984. So, this topic is very, dear to me. And I'm happy you brought in someone who probably speaks and drinks SME than me myself. If everywhere you go, you meet Dr. Salaudin, talk about SMEs. Talk about Nigeria. And the team is also very important and act, building a stronger future for Nigeria. Then you cannot be building a brighter future for Nigeria without talking about the economy. Because when I think about the world here, at the team. Then doing that, you also cannot now do without talking about the cornerstone of that economy, which is the small and medium enterprises. Let us say they have about 40 million SMEs in Nigeria. When you look at 40 million SMEs, how many states there are the population of SMEs? If you assemble all SMEs together, that will probably cover more than the whole of Southwest. That will tell you how large the MSMEs are and how important they are. So we can't afford not to be talking about them. We can't afford not to be talking about it. By the way, how do I mean you get a business from Odoshe? Now I think we don't have a business. Okay, let me frame the question in a different way. If you're a businessman, you own a business in any way or a woman, can you raise up your hand? So that's the way it is. In 2013, myself and my colleagues, Rufano Bile and we did a project to look at the entrepreneurial activity in Nigeria. That project was sponsored by a Canadian NGO through what we call Global Entrepreneurship Manifest. It was done under my foundation, the Global Foundation. And we cover 3 years, and we cover that Nigeria is an entrepreneurial nation. That more than 82% of adults in Nigeria have 1% of youth. So it's something that is very, very important. It's something that's very, very key to us. And we can't afford not to be talking about it. And unfortunately, we are in a very fair state. Nigeria is going through a lot of challenges today. But I want to see here our political class. I want to about 21 million per month of people. I'm ready to here. But I know you as businessmen, businesswomen, I know you feel it. Don't you feel it? Well, feel it. So, in the circumstance, most of us who are involved in small, medium enterprises will pay the pay. That pay is too much. It's it about government, taxes, rates. It's it about even your employees. See the one they share, they go. It's about the quality of what they do. Is it about electricity? Is it about even moving from where you are to your place of business? So many things to talk about. So it's a challenging time for MSMEs. And we should not underestimate how that puts a lot of pressure on those who are really doing legitimate businesses. It's a lot. But one thing I want to tell you today, the lecturer will talk a lot about that. that after I think we got the university in 1984, I left university in 1984, 40 years ago. I said, sorry, Nigeria, no, I remember I was the editor-in-chief of my department's magazine called the Nigerian Economist, Economics. And I remember in 1982, my article, my editorial, that I was graduate unemployment in Nigeria, a new socio-economic search. Nígbà yẹn ló ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀. Àwọn sọ yóò dá. I told you my 1984 research thesis was on small-scale enterprises and rural development in Nigeria, a case study of the federal and local government of Oyo State. Which challenges are identified by now who want to see. Kò sí náà, kò sómi, kò sọ́nà. Owó orí náà máa lè káàkiri láti gbà wọ́n ṣe lé wa láti gbà iná nìyẹn. So where I'm going is that part of the things you should focus your mind on today is to focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. Don't focus on the problems. That problem has always been there. Ọjọ́ òní Babangida ṣe sáà.
1985.
85. Tó lóun gba IMF loan, but no matter IMF conditions. That year, the exchange rate moved by 100%. People are crying. People are wailing. In fact, I'm not being able to make Islam lower. The man can't entertain a bit. Somebody said something to me. Only I love more. Tó kọrin pé ọtí tí wọ́n fẹ́ tí kò padà wọ́n rọ sí tẹ́lẹ̀ òtí tí bọ́ sí kọ̀pọ̀. Pé ìjọba ìwà àwọn àtúnṣe sí o. Oṣù ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn ọmọdé tó wà ní ìwà ìwà ọmọwúrà. So where I'm going is that please, this is the way life is. We have to be focusing on ourselves as individuals and as families. Koda, and that business is there. Koda, and make success of their lives. Koda, I do not have my colleague. You can take that to university. People were in 1986. Full of bullshit and ignorance, there's I also remember that time, 200 naira, they will pop up also. So there was no addition, it was just that 200 naira. And I started in Kaura Namuda, current Sambara State. And I have to travel to Lagos at least 3 times in that 1 year. And I still save money. So I'm just telling you, please focus on yourself. Challenging times are there. Even where the economy is booming, some people will see the kind of challenges. Focus on the fact that your business, essence of it is to create wealth. I always tell my students, the business of business is to create wealth. You bring in 1 million naira to a business. You want to see it grow to 2 million, 10 million, 15 million, 20 million. That's the way it is, isn't it? That's the business of the business. So, and to create wealth means to operate profitably, sustainably. That's why this topic is very important. Survival. Then you need to move beyond survival. You need to move to sustainability business, where your family will be able to live on it, your generation of families, children of children will be able to live on it. Important the doctor has also living in it. These are strategies here. The business bá máa fi kúrò ní poverty alleviation program pé aṣàtúnwò jẹ nìkan. Because a lot of businesses, we call businesses in Nigeria, that's what it is. How can we take and have that? So, you need to have an enduring business, and our guest speaker will be talking to us about that today. But for me, just three things, Professor people surround them. The first one, you have to focus on yourself and your business. Gbogbo ayé bá pariwo ṣàtẹ̀kọ́ inú owó ọ̀dà láti kúkú harí nìyẹn láti lẹ́jọ́ lọ́tà kó bẹ́ẹ̀ nìyẹn láti lọ́bàṣájọ́ kó bẹ́ẹ̀ nìyẹn láti lé ṣàkàrí kó bẹ́ẹ̀ nìyẹn. So assume that is the environment where you are operating, and the environment is not good. There are also been taught in business school that the environment that has challenges have the greatest opportunities. Over some economy, they grow at the US only 1% or 25%, whatever, okay, the economy grow. The power grow at 5%. And as of it's just marginal because the population is also growing almost at 3%. So that's the thing for me and you. Today is focus. And when I say focus, please remain focused on your business. A lot of us say business useful to grow. So at the business and pioneering. As almost remember, after the moves in your deed. You are very to take the very good money, the bread, and the moves the bread. In 10 years' time, you have done 3, 4, 5 businesses, and you have become master of none. Forgetting that every time you stay, you are learning more and you are becoming an expert in that field. So focus is very important. Cost reduction is very important. And the most the marriage proposal, I mean marriage invitation is lower at the home. Only 75,000 and lower service. Because of your operating, right? Cost. Anytime cost your business will focus below it. Try as much as possible to see how you can manage your costs. Value is what you sell in the business. Do you want people to patronize you or the Muslim? And you're not just Muslim, like we expect to patronize them. No. Important business, important in our soul, to marché, every àwọn èèyàn rẹ̀ láti mú owó lápò ara wọn báyìí láti rà ọkàn pé business ni. Tó o bá tí ì ní ẹ ò ní business o. You have to create value that people are paying for. So please, these are very important things for me that I said I will share with you as part of my own contribution to this. Finally, as Muslims, ethical behavior. Mo lọ sí PTA ní ti skul ìyàwó mi, àwọn ágí o, ẹnìkan sọ pé nígbà tó ń ra rice tó ń tà, 30,000 ló ń rà. So this is rice bed 80,000. So èlò ní kó wá àyè tó ti nílé yẹn. A ní kó tà lórí májì tó ń lò tẹ́lẹ̀, tó 20% májì ní kó fi 20% májì náà sí. Ó níbẹ̀ tó ń bá tà tán, owó yìí ò ní ká láti rà ní ìmọ̀. Pé ìṣèlú ẹ̀ kó ṣe kí price yẹn ìdílé lè sí ìṣòwò yẹn ti lọ sókè. Dọ́kítọ̀, ẹ ṣàlàyé yẹn fún wa. What should be ethics as Muslims is the cornerstone of our deen. You can't cut corners. Àwọn ìmáàmù ọ̀rọ̀ àdínì, Quran ṣe ìpínlẹ̀ tó máa ń cut corners in business. Ó sọ pé ègbé ní fún wọn, ẹ tó ń tẹ́ pẹpẹ ráìsì, tó ń tẹ́ pẹpẹ nǹkan, tó ń bá ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀, tó tó gbé ìtò dá sókè tó gbé ìtò ti jẹrà sálẹ̀. Quran ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní kọ́ àbí? Please, don't be under any serious condition where you will be having unethical behavior in your business, no matter how pressure you are. Because in that, you will be deprived of the blessings of Allah from it. So, those are new things. Mo fẹ́ ṣe àpẹẹrẹ ní. Èmi náà wá láǹdé ní o, ẹ̀kọ́ la máa ṣàlàyé fún wa tó pọ̀. I just thought, because of my own interest and my experience, I should share this 1, 2, 3 nuggets with you and allow the lecturer to do his job. May Allah bless all your efforts. May Allah grant you success in your businesses. Ọjà kájẹ ta àní máa ní wà ìsanwó àní ìsanwó ẹjọ́ ọlọ́run àjọ alékè ọlọ́run àjẹkára pàlùbáríkà ṣẹ wa ọ̀là aláhàọ́là wàlà wàlà ìjà sàlámù alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ẹgbẹ́ ọlọ́run ẹni ká gbé ọlọ́run tóbi. Èmi náà sọ Yorùbá ó dàbí pé Gẹ̀ẹ́sì yẹn fẹ́ pọ̀ jù. Ẹsẹ̀ mi náà tó fi sọ so ká máa ṣe àmúlùmálà ẹ̀. Adúpẹ́ gidi ní ọwọ́ chairman. We thank the chairman of the occasion, Dr. Ahmed Tunde Bukola, FCA, for that practical, pragmatic, chairman's opening remark. I said something at the beginning of the session. That's what I'm actually àmúlùmálà ẹ̀. Okay. Now, mo sọ ọkọ ní ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ wípé gbogbo àwọn tá a wá sí ìbàdí lónìí tí ò bá ju ẹyọ kan ṣu lọ àmàgé. There is no doubt wípé gbogbo nǹkan tí chairman kan ti sọ láti àwọn which is very very practical. Tá a bá tiẹ̀ rí kankan gé èmi gé and I want to share with you. One of those things that he said is that wípé wàhálà ti wà ní Nàìjíríà tipẹ́tipẹ́. So it is actually a waste of energy and effort. Kama ṣe kama focus lórí wàhálà, focus on yourself. Brothers and sisters, Tinubu ò dáa, Lágbájá ò dáa, ìwọ ọgbọ́n fúnra rẹ̀, what value do you have? Focus on what you can do. Don't waste your time on Tinubu, Sanwo-Olu or whoever is not good, is not attending to us and all of that. And they also said ethics. That is the hallmark of every Muslim. Gbogbo nǹkan tá a bá ń ṣe ẹ jẹ́ ká máa fi òtítọ́ inú àti òdodo ká máa fi ṣe. Once we do this, Allah will always be on our side. It may take time, but eventually we shall get there. Success will eventually come our way. Chairman sir, we thank you so much. Ọ̀rọ̀ tí chairman sọ fún wa yẹn ó practical gidi gan practical ni and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you sir. And we should not expect anything less because he said that he lives, he dreams, he talks, MS, MES. So, kọ́lọ́ ọba kí ó bá a lọ́ra ẹ̀mí àwọn bàbá wa. Jazakumullahu khairan. So, now before we proceed, my brother, the co-anchor, will introduce some of the leaders, elders in the companion. After that, we shall proceed with the session. Inshallah, Bismillah.
I have the privilege to acknowledge the presence of the eminent personalities of Ustaz Thaqib Bello Omosi Olojaripe, as well as the coordinators of USRA. In Lagos State District, we have 9 zones. All of the coordinator USRAs, you are highly recognized. You are highly welcome. I have the privilege to acknowledge the presence of NASFAT Vice Chairman, Lagos Zone 2, in person of Barrister Akin Salami. I also have Al-Hajj Zikrullah Ismail Orobo. He is the chairman, NASFAT Lagos Zone 3. You are highly welcome, sir. All the executive members of the companion Lagos District, you are all welcome to this August occasion. Our father, Alhaj Lukman Ayantayo Babajeje Lord Jariwe. I also have the honor of introducing or welcoming Alhaj B.T. Rahman, Alhaj Abdul Aziz Momo, representing the National Executive of the company. You are highly welcome, sir. Take out your money. Take out your money. You take out your money. You are the Alhaji Mohamed Abdul Aziz. He is representing the National Executive of the company. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Baba, you are invited to the platform by the power of Father me. Mo gbé yín dìde mo bọ̀ lókè láyé yìí. Wajadina surura wajadina surura. Tí o bá sí national, kò lè sí district àbí? Yes, sir. Even if district is having a program, and we are honored to have a representative of the National Executive, Akinibuko Ekudide.
That's Alhaji Abdulaziz Momo, the National Financial Secretary of the company. You are welcome. While the introduction was on the way, we also have another leader and then one of the past exco of the company. That is in person of Alhaj YKO Karim. He happens to be the former Lagos District Amir of the companion and members of the trustees. You are welcome, sir. Alhaji YKO Karim, sir.
I was told that the National Naib Amir is around, but I am trying to see his face. Maybe he's parking his car outside. He is no other person but Alhaj Imam Najib Jima, the chief imam, Lighthouse Central Mosque. Even the Amir himself has just stepped in and made the National Amir. He walked in majestically.
Welcome the National Amir of the companion, Engineer Kami Oladipo, FNSE, Tekbir.
Allahu Akbar.
You are welcome, and then
Àwọn nìyẹn láti all the way from Kwara State ni wọ́n ti wá grace occasion yìí ní òní ọlọ́run yàrá yìí pẹ́. Etí ó kàn nínú ètò òun náà ni tabawo page 3 of this brochure our program wa wà nílẹ̀. We are done with number 6.
Okay, before we proceed with the program, we have the pleasure and honor to introduce to the house the Amira of the Criterion Lagos District in person of Alhaja Mariam Shahada. You are welcome, ma'am.
I also have it here, but I forgot. Our own mother from Ikorodu, Alhaja Hamida Sani, she is the former Amira Lagos District Criterion. Eku Kaleyawa, Alon Yadipe.
Alhamdulillah, we proceed with the program, and at this junction, we like to hand over the microphone to the chairman of the occasion to actually resume properly the work that has been given to him today. To continue with the ordination of the program, sir. Following the agenda there.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we proceed now with the program. Let me welcome my national Amir. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. And especially the Criterion. The Criterion. You know, when I came in, when I came in this morning, our sisters, we have more of them than the brothers. Even when I came in this morning. If you take census now, they are more than us. This is not a program, after 1 year. Thank you so much. All right, so without much ado, because I want us to have enough time to listen to the lecturer and to also have enough time to ask him questions. We have brought a guru. It would be a waste, a disservice to him. So, who's going to do the citation? Okay, please, 2 minutes. We already know him.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Citation of Dr. Jubril Abdullahi Salahuddin, FCIM, FII, FPFIPS. Dr. Jubril Salahuddin is the Director, Executive Education and Horizontality, Noble Business School, Lagos, Nigeria. He attended the University of Gloucestershire in London for his master's degree. Similarly, he was enrolled in the International University, Malaysia for his PhD. Dr. Salahuddin is an Institute C-level executive with wide experience in FCMG, that's a fast-moving consumer goods, e-payment, home entertainment, distribution and logistics, security printing, as well as the oil and gas industries. He was the general manager with New Metro Home. Dr. Salahuddin was the executive director and managing director at CityServe Limited before he joined Noble Business School. He has held senior management positions in security printing and lately was the director of the Abeokuta Business School. He loves learning. Dr. Salahuddin has over 28 years working and professional experience. He loves learning, research, entrepreneurship, poverty eradication, writing, and farming. He is happily married with children. Brothers and sisters in Islam, leaders, executive of the company, I hereby introduce once again and present to you this erudite scholar and expert in Islamic finance and entrepreneurship. To do justice to today's topic, that is a survival strategy for micro, small, and medium enterprises in Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Sorry, ma'am. We'll give 1 hour to you.
والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن اتبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I want to use the same size as my camera used, which is standing on the existing protocol. And if you look at the summary of the Amir and what Dr. has presented earlier, it's like 80% of the total thing I want to say. So we can as well just go to question and answer. Because everything and every ground has been covered. So the truth is, I don't expect anything less. Because he is our chairman, is our leader, and he's somebody who is at the forefront of making MSME survive in Nigeria. So you should expect that. So whatever I'm going to say, you're going to see a lot of overlap and repetition of what he has said. That's what I will mean. So if you say, oh, what Dr. has said that, so I'm just preparing your mind. So you know that I will not be repeating what he has said and what the Amir has said as well. That's what I'm saying. And they want to put it in a different context and bring some examples to it. And so those are the things I will just be adding to it. But it will not be far off. The analysis of the guidance. So earlier when I was putting the presentation together, I did that and I was showing it to my daughter. And she looked at it and said, oh, very nice, business style, dress. And I said, the audience that I'm coming to interact with is not the business style that I'm bringing. I need to come and have a frank conversation. Something that will go to the root of what the issues are and what we need to come up with at the end of this discussion. So that we have a kind of a roadmap that we can almost hold in our hand and have also low-hanging fruits that immediately we can actually implement. So based on that, I reformatted the discussion to suit what the audience has, people with experience, people who are doing businesses, and look at things that we can actually do and hold on to. And inshallah, that's what I will be doing today. I will talk less of academics, and I will talk more into the hybrids of what's actually happening and what we need to do. How many of us have gone through the book, The Men Who Built America? Men Who Built America. Have we read the book? Everybody, just show of hands if you have read the book. You must go and buy it. You must go and buy the book. The Men Who Built America. Government don't build an economy. There is no economy in the world that is built by the government. People build the economy. And so you need to get that book and read it and begin to see the context where we're coming from. What do government need to do for us? They need to put in infrastructure. The more infrastructure, the tighter the opportunities. When they put in more infrastructure, good road, less organizers will be on the road. Good power, electricity, people who are servicing generator and selling generator will disappear. With cashless, it now being increased. Before it was armed robbery, you can come to your house and you can take cash and go away. Now there is no cash at home in your account. People have to kidnap people for other people to take cash. So with every solution will come a problem. With every solution will come a new set of problems. Nigeria, I like it. Dr. put it aptly. We had a nation where we're looking at it and saying things will be fine, economy will be good, and he spoke about how he has used 200 naira to do marvelous things. Right? I remember when my father was going on Hajj. The total amount of money he used to travel on Hajj was 275 naira. And when they brought the bag, I was the one that helped him to write his name on the bag they gave to him. And he said when he got there, they gave him an equivalent of 75 naira as his basic traveling allowance. And he said, I didn't move. I wish he's alive today. I would have just told him the last time I let him see 8 million. So what is interesting, because my grandmother went on Hajj by road. She actually trekked to Hajj, trekked back. It took her 6.5 years. And in those days, you don't just come back from Hajj by road and you come into camp. No, you have to stay at the edge of camp. And they have to bring drummers to welcome you in. It's very interesting. So, today we're going to look at these businesses and we're going to look at them differently. According to SNIDAM, we have about 40 to 48 million. The research of 2020 showed 40 million. The research of 2023 showed 46,370,000 MSMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises across Nigeria. When we look at that and we superimpose that number on other countries, and I will try to quickly superimpose them on Germany, China, and South Africa. The number in South Africa is lesser. It's 27,380,000. Of course, China blew off. But we looked at the companies in China and we said to ourselves, why in every home, check your houses, in every home there's a made in China. In fact, if you check across this table, you find made in China. What are the Chinese doing differently? What are we doing differently? This morning I came from Ibadan. And when you look at the expanse of land between Ijebu-Ode coming into Lagos, left and right, there are Chinese, Indians, and Lebanese. More of them are coming into Nigeria. They are seeing opportunities. We are running away. We are seeing challenges. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Something fundamental is wrong. We are probably not looking at the right direction, or they are seeing something that we are not seeing. With our population, we are sufficient to be the China of Africa. It's sufficient. So we need to look at that and also then superimpose the current number of entrepreneurs in Nigeria on the Muslim population. How many of us Muslims are entrepreneurs? And when we are entrepreneurs, what are the kind of businesses that we are doing? Because the audience today is the Muslim audience. So I draw another inference from there quickly. Every year, the Lagos Business School invites me to speak to people from Nestle Zone and SME. So they bring their thought leaders across Africa, and so they put them into a class for me to speak to them. So I was there for the whole of Friday, except for the time for Juma. And we now had 3 issues to contend with. They had shrinking volumes. Volumes are shrinking. However, profitability is going up. Interesting. Volumes are shrinking, profitability is going up. So how do we now take care of the markets? So sitting down, we are doing 3 things. We are resizing their products. We are repricing the products. And we are repositioning their products. So we'll be doing those 3 things. Expensive packaging will disappear. I am not a fan of expensive packaging. From the day I introduced cowbell into the Nigerian market to today, whenever I interact with them, I say, don't look for anything expensive. Because at the time growing milk, Nigeria was at 5 naira. And I said, we can sell this milk at 5 naira. You say, no, it's not possible to sell it at 5 naira. And we sold it at 5 naira. And the market was telling us at that time that we have seen 71 different milk and they have disappeared. You guys will soon fizzle away. It's 30 years now that will fizzle away. It's here to stay. So how do you stay? What are the strategies that you require to stay? Those are the things that will lay emphasis on. But then we need to understand what are the challenges. The same report that the Amir cited, the Pricewaterhouse report of 2020, states that businesses in Nigeria, MSMEs in Nigeria, micro, small, and medium enterprises in Nigeria are going through 8 different challenges. Number 1 is electricity, which is power. Power, electricity. So let me quickly look at it. Today, if you are a medical doctor and you are running an hospital, you don't have the trouble of going to look for diesel to power your generator. What is the business of the medical doctor and diesel? But that's one, look for one. So power is a major issue. Even in our homes, some of us, the national grid is a backup. Yes, you have solar, you have the inverter, you have generator, then you have the national grid. I work more from home, so the national grid sometimes I don't even know whether it's there or it's not there. That's power. Now, when you look at power and you look at our challenge with power, everybody shouting power, 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 power. And now superimpose that challenge on Pakistan. Another developing economy like us. So I give you a quick reference. A friend of ours operates a rice mill, an SME, in Kano. What he does is he buys the paddy, he unshell it, he polish it, and he destones it, and he package it, and send it back to Southwest market for him to sell. And for 1 full year, his throughputs have always been 27 to 28%. 27 to 28%, max 28% throughput. And you will be complaining. And so when the ask us, say, because the power is not clean, energy is not good. Early this year, we picked 8 Pakistani workers who work in the rice factory in Pakistan, and we brought them here to operate the same facility, no change. Throughput went from 28% to 80%. So where is the power problem? I'm asking, where is the power problem? Are you overblowing this power? Something is wrong. Something is not right. The next problem of the MSMEs in Nigeria is quality workers. Quality workers. People that will work for you, that knows the job. My daughter read electrical engineering from one of the Nigerian good universities, not private, public university, good university. And the water heater in our room got bad. And she asked me to call Akeem, the electrician, to come and take it. And I said to her, it would never happen. It would never. I spent 4 or 5 years sending you to university to read electrical engineering. Me, I will now go and call Akeem to change the book. I said, you have 2 options. You either be working with cold water, or you have cold, I will take it to hospital. I don't have a problem with that. That's I'll take care of it. Or you try and change it and it shocks you. No problem. You try again, but you know how to do it. And I refused. And for 3 weeks, socket was having me on the wall. 3 weeks. One afternoon, I came home and I saw a kid showing her, changing it and showing her how to do it. And I pretended as if I didn't see it. Now, that is the same worker that the doctor will go to employ to come and run the factory for him. So where will you get it? Where will it come from? They are not workable. They are not workable. We are breeding people that are not going to be useful for us. They can't be useful. And anytime I just look at her, I say, is it not a waste to have sent you to go and do electrical engineering when Akeem is around? And like you have just sent me to your shop. When I was in security printing, there is an engineer who goes around who wears the overall. And I say, what are you doing? I say, I'm the engineer in charge. I'm the engineer in charge. And everything then was shut down. And he's the engineer in charge. I said, the engineer in charge, I said, you won't come to work here. Let's go and get people that will do this work. And we got people from the roadside, and the machines start coming back to life one by one. So, quality workforce, another challenge we have. Another problem that is a challenge for us is taxation, multiple tax. Doctor has spoken about it earlier. We have multiple tax. And businesses have complained that the most difficult task for them to comply with are the local government taxes. They have no meaning. Everybody just comes and says, in fact, there's a name for everything. When they bring down the list, it's as big as your hand. They just don't start charging you for everything. And they have commented, businesses have commented in the 2023 research that it impacts almost 60% of their profitability. Taxes, multiple taxes. Doctor spoke about ethics earlier on. And he was asking about ethics that has to do with pricing. For me, I don't have a challenge with it because once you go into anything that is riba, you know you have started the war between you and Allah. There is no sin in the world where Allah has classified the war between himself and the person other than riba. So I don't have a challenge. Scholars have continually said that the death of Muhammad has posed a big challenge to the Muslim community. After becoming a kafir, the next sin is riba, which is worse than zina in the hierarchy of sins. So me, I don't have challenge with that. Anybody who wants to bring to you, no. I'm only looking for a space where I can hold like this and get to paradise. I have one of my elder brother. When it's time for salat, he doesn't even tell it's time for salat. He just stand up and go and pray. And so when you ask him, but you didn't tell us, he say, are you crazy? When I'm struggling to go to them, I tell you, go struggle yourself. The biggest contribution to employment is MSMEs. When the MSMEs is not working, unemployment will go up. Unemployment will go up. MSME contributes to 90 to 95% of total employment in Nigeria. And they contribute about 99% to the employment in India. Look at India with its size. But then, there are certain fundamentals that we need to also challenge, which is also noted to the issue of hunger, which is the next one. I was privileged to school in India. So I went to school in India called a university in Hyderabad called Osmania University. And at the time I was schooling in India, if you go out in the morning, the kind of vehicle we use for PSPs to take refuge in Lagos, that is where they used to keep dead bodies, put dead bodies inside, pick them across the street and throw them inside to get to where they would cremate them. Ten years after my graduation from Osmania, I went back to India and I saw a brand new city. What happened? This city has changed. The university has changed. Osmania University is one of the smallest universities in India, of course. If you superimpose that on Nigeria, it's a big university. It's a university that has between 8 to 9 million students. By size, one of the smallest. If you ask every Indian in the world and every Chinese in the world to just jump once, the whole world will move. That's about 50% of the global population. So, when people say, is our population that is the problem? I say, no. I think it is not the problem. Because we've seen what population has done to India and China. And so, this is not our challenge. We need to look deeper. Hunger is another problem. So I asked the Imam of the mosque. I went to the house where I was living, and I saw the Imam and I asked him, sir, this city has changed. What happened? And he said to me in 2 words, we conquered hunger. Let's say it again. The city has changed, flourishing. And things are moving well. They are even commissioning a new international airport the day I arrived. And I said to him, sir, what happened? And he said, we conquered hunger. So, you conquered hunger? Is government not the problem? He said, no. But maybe the democratic system, and he asked me the next question. He said, name one country in the world that has prospered as a result of democracy. One. Country are successful, then layer democracy on it. Western style. Not layer democracy on it. Talk of Kigali, Rwanda, right? Democracy is working. This is 5th time in office. 5th time in office. For 4 years plus 5. Yes. And if you talk, you die. Simple. This one that you go and do scheme about presidents. Have you ever seen in any social media where anybody is doing a scheme about the Rwanda president? You will disappear. So, if you give human beings that opportunity to misbehave, we will misbehave. So, how do they do it? He says, we begin to look at agriculture differently. I say this all the time, and I'm going to say it again. You cannot feed 200 million people with holes and cutlasses. It's not possible. The days of holes and cutlasses to feed people are gone. It's gone. At 200 million plus, it's not possible. except if the population figure is wrong. But if it is correct, then we have to change our paradigm. So, another challenge that the businesses are facing is the fact that a lot of people consistently change businesses without learning the own business. Doctor has said earlier on, okay, so what am I into? Today I'm selling jam in the market. I know they say that lady that is doing POS, she's making a lot of money, close that jam shop, open POS. Every POS umbrella will disappear in 3 years. In the next 3 years, it will disappear. I can tell you that for free. So what will you be doing at that time? Selling the chair at the table. Very soon, there will be nothing more to sell. Again, another of the challenges that businesses have had is the fact that they buy things that they don't need. They buy things that they don't need. Even for us as individuals, we need to check the things we are buying. Have you seen a man wearing a pink shoe? Pink shoe. What's his business wearing pink shoe? Say, no, I want to be like rich people. They always wear a different type of clothes, different type of color. It's not true. Rich people will have 3 types of shoes. 2, not 3, 2. One black, one brown, they polish it, always shining. They don't have pink. They don't wear pink. You don't have 5 televisions. Madness. You can't put in television in your bedroom. You are already 55. Television in your bedroom. Blood pressure is stopping you. You are not looking for good health for yourself. Putting TV in the office. Not in the reception, inside of the office. How do you want them to work? So they buy a lot of equipment that are useless. There are other areas where they also think that it is machineries that they need to automate the process. But we have seen businesses that have not gone into automation and they have done very well. I'll draw another inference quickly. During the time of Jonathan, I consulted for an organization that was given a gas pipeline project. And we were then looking for pipes, only that this pipe, the people of use gas pipelines. We couldn't get any around the pipeline. So somebody advised that we should go to Europe and meet Ashina Metal. So we went to meet Ashina Metal. And the owner actually helped us in the place. After 3 days, he came back and said, yeah, he wants to discuss what we have. And we said, we want gas pipeline that we can use to do this gas. And he said, okay, where is the country? And we said, it is Nigeria in Africa. Okay. He said, so after the gas pipeline there, what is the next project? He said, no, that's the only thing we want to do. And he said to us, I'm not interested. And we are not shocked. You're not what? He said, I'm not interested. Why? He said, I want a project where I can move my people to and equipment. And after the project, they can continue to have something doing. Now, that is consistency, right? That is how you rate to accelerate, to get results. So we didn't know where else to go to. And somebody said, go to China. And we went to Guangdong in China. And they showed us the pipes they did, it conformed, and we'll be able to use those pipes. But I want to share one amazing result we got there for you. The pipes were made by blacksmiths. Blacksmiths. I'm like the day. No, it's just their heart. And when they remove their clothes, and you see very short people right there, and see the hammer, and they were firing and molding the pipes. Eventually, that is where we bought the pipes from blacksmith. We left blacksmith in Nigeria, and went to go and get blacksmith in China, and we bought pipes from them and imported it. Another challenge that MSMEs are posted is that they have funding challenges. There is nobody that is doing business in Nigeria. You say, what's your problem? Say, it's money. I don't have money. Now, once you have more money, please, the brothers among us, the men, put your hand into your pocket. I can do. Just put your hand into your pocket. Does it have an end?
No.
It does.
Yes.
It has stopped, right? If you compete cash for cash, or pocket size for pocket size, you will not be successful. Every morning you think I can put additional money on it. So that's the challenge. So what do you need to put in? Your intellect. Nobody can replicate your brain. But we stop thinking and we throw money at everything. We stop thinking. We throw money at everything. At home, when my children say, we need money for this, for that, I'll just look at the things that are essential. I'll think it, I'll cancel orders, I'll say, think out of the box. Within a week, there's always a solution. I can make you to survive. You must survive. Learn to survive. That is not easy. So, one of the things that the business do is that they're looking for money. There are those that require money for expansion. Again, what kind of money are we looking for? Money are of different types. They are not the same. To ask Chairman, he will tell you, money are not the same. There are hot cash. Once you borrow it, you stop sleeping. You have to further sleep. There are patient investments. One of the challenges that we have had as an Ummah is that we have not strengthened our source of funding. It's a big challenge. Oh, it's because we don't have Islamic finance. We now have Islamic banks. And what we have done, all of us search your conscience. 30% of your fund is in those Islamic bank, and 70% of your fund is warehoused in the conventional bank. That is what we are doing. Now, we will now go back to those same banks and say, they are not helping our business. With what? With the money that you have in conventional fund? How will it help you? So, we have not learned the numbers and how money pays. So, when we go into business, we have not learned that. The third thing is, of the 45 million businesses, MSMEs that we're talking about, 72% of them are micro businesses, sole proprietorship. Micro businesses, sole proprietorship. Now, micro businesses and sole proprietorship, they don't survive when there is an economic shake. They go underwater. So, as people, as an Ummah, we have not learned to collaborate. We only read it in the Quran and think that it's a prayer. We just gloss over it. Remember, we just read through the hadith and the Quran, we just read passing. We don't understand that it is in operation that there is power. I'll draw another quick inference. When I was in the University of Bradford, my roommate is a Jewish. So, myself and him, we joke a lot. I said, don't worry, we're from the same Abrahamic faith. I know you're Jewish, so they have this festival of lights. When the festival of light comes in, we don't put off the lights. So, I'll tell him, well, I can't continue to pay for electricity, I need to put off the light. Or you put off the light. He said, no, you can't put off the light. They're having a festival of light. See, they're paying me so that I can put off the light. So you pay me 5 or 10 pounds, then I'll help you to stop the lights. They are making money. So I then asked him, I said, how are you Jewish able to bring your community together and make funding available for yourself? He said to me that every pound, 1 pound, must travel around their community 7 times before they can give it to an outsider. Before they give it to a non-Jew, you must travel around their community. So if I want to buy, if a Jew want to buy bread, he must look for a Jewish bread seller. Whether that bread is good or not is none of his business. Now, if the Muslim patronizes you, it's because he has no money. The day he has money, you go and buy another one, and he tells you that this quality is wrong and that quality is good. So we still do not understand how money travels. We have not appreciated it. And we need to appreciate it. Then we don't know how to collaborate. We are having small businesses. And when you start putting 10 together, it's not to one. Someone to do one small thing. He has not even finished the apprenticeship. Under his course, he go and start his own. So he doesn't know the rudiments. This one is starting another small one. Tiny businesses that even the owner cannot feed from. So we must learn how to cooperate and partner among ourselves so that we can bring in different skills into the job. Yeah, so we say time is difficult and time is hard. Alhamdulillah, it's true. May Allah make it easy for us. Every tough period always produces gigantic businesses. Doctor alluded to the austerity measure of the 1985, right? 1985. 85 and 6. And that was what produced the GT Bank of this world, the Zenith Bank of this world, and the Access Bank of this world, and even the FCMB Bank of this world. Those terrible periods produced those big banks of today. Today, those three banks combined with two other banks is 80% of the total banking industry in Nigeria. We have our own banking industry in Nigeria. We have about 5 banks now, 105. But they are just a dot in the spelling of banking. When you saw bank, you know there's an eye. That eye, the dot on top of the eye, that is our own put together. All of them, they are less than 2% of the total banking industry. So, what do we need to do differently? We need to understand how money behaves to businesses. Because if an Abdullahi comes to me, and a John comes to me, and I know that they both have the same wonderful business presentation that they needed funding for, of course, you know where my bias will go. There are biases as well. And you know where my bias will go into. If we have lost out in the businesses of yesterday, and we are not in the businesses of today, how do we create the business of tomorrow? I say to Professor Lackman, we had one conversation once, and I was saying to him, I think you are going around on this gap issue. I like what you think, I like your energy, but you just have another thing, like our old Baba. So you have just another thing, you don't have any energy again. I said, but I think you are not going to the roots. So what's the root? I said, if we create our own businesses that belongs to us, nobody can stop us from giving employment to our sisters. If they like them where before, we can even tell them the customer service person who will be working from home. You don't need anybody to see you. But when you don't create the business, you don't tell you who to employ. You can't. You can't. I know the person passed, says who? You or me? Okay, I remind the paper, he has got 5 over 100. What can you do? And I get to it, she has paid. And it's not in the university where you go and repeat. It's a job, and you're not the owner of the job. So, times are hard, and we're not talking about return of investment now. Nobody's talking about that. We are talking about return of the investment, not the return on the investment. So businesses will have to do a number of things to stay afloat. A number of things now to stay afloat. And what analysts have said is that this trend is a 10-year trend. So we have to adjust ourselves properly for these 10 years. We are just 3 years into it. So let's adjust ourselves properly for it so that we can deal with it. One of the things we must do is to look at a way to improve our top line. When I looked at the brochure, I saw the Amir and his accounting lady. Accountants want us to cut costs, right? Now, we have to think differently from the way accountants will think today. We have to say, how do we push the sales up so that it can absorb the costs? That is the first thing we must have now. Again, all areas of waste, we must tighten it. All areas of waste, we must tighten it. Minimum waste. Minimum waste. We must tighten it. We must also learn to use professionals to cut down for us our tax. Get professionals, legal professionals, tax professionals, professional accountants to help you look at it. Then start looking at how you need to deploy technology to do some of the things that are difficult for you to do manually. A lot of people are into business today. They don't even need to. They are doing the business from the comfort of their room. Because the new world of work has changed. People don't go to work Monday to Friday again. They don't. Except the factory where they have to produce. But when you have to offer services, you have to be different. The next time, and just watch it, will be a lot of emphasis from 2025 into production of more food because of the challenge of food we have today. So there is the tendency that we might have food gluts next year. Now, so if you are thinking of investing into it, you have to use your brain. Or else you lose in 2021 and lose in 2025. Because when it becomes very general knowledge, you must be careful. I have a cousin at the university. Anytime I want to know whether I should do a business or not, I throw it at him. And at the university, oh, the role of family is very interesting. What do you think? It's very nice. This is what you should do. Don't do it. Because he only sees things that everybody sees. So when he said it to me, I was just like, yeah, nice guy. But before I would bring it, I test it on him. But when he said, no, who is doing that? It's not possible. You can, and he'll come up with this argument. That's what I will do. Because I know that the majority of the people are like him. In business school, which also has admitted to, we call them idiots. Idiots. They see that the way they see. Yes. They see only see what everybody has seen. So we're not interested in this. You must be able to think differently. So our thinking should bring out a new kind of results. Now, another one is the building of intergeneration businesses. How do we build businesses that will succeed us? One way at the Lagos Business School, unfortunately, we did a research to look at businesses that have spent 3 generations in Nigeria. 3 generations. We found only one. Alabu. It was only Alabu that has spent 3 generations. Only Alabu. I'm sure you remember that Alabu. That's the one that has 3 generations. Most of the businesses, they die together after the owners. When the owner exists, they exist. So they bury them together with the owner. And you know all of them. And go and check all the businesses of Abiola. They went to the end. Now, we can be smiling today. If we are not careful, our own business will go with us as well. We have to do something different. No, prayer is not enough. Prayer is not enough. All those people whose business died with them, they also prayed. You understand? Because once you pray and once you over, especially people from the other division, they use it to block our thinking. That we must not think, just pray and think it. Continue to pray. This power will be here. Will shake. Okay? And if you continue to throw air into it and it's not shaking, then we need to bring a psychiatric doctor. If you continue to do it, something is wrong with it. So, we need to, there are styles to building businesses that see next generations. Early enough, we should get our children involved in those businesses. Very early enough. Let's get them involved in the business. Let it not be at the time we want to exit We now bring them in as MD of the business. When they don't know anything about the business, they will kill it. And they don't have passion for it anyway. I ran the business as an MD for 14 years. By the time I was leaving, the owner brought his son. And I said, Patrick, he's a graduate of Harvard. I said, yes. I said, but every business model in Harvard has failed in Nigeria. Nigeria is a different jungle. It's a different kettle of fish. Everything, every theory in the world has failed there. Every day now. Well, Germans, the economists, they know that all the economists are not working here. They know. I said, let this boy go and learn. And eventually she capped the discussion. He said, he will make his mistake, he will learn, and he will be successful. That's good. It will be a year next month. I left them with 256 staff. They have 14 left. It's not a good story. Okay? It's not a good story. But that's the form. If you drive, someone knows the place. If you drive past the place, they put funding. Both now. So that business can see tomorrow. Because of the model. So we need to start looking at the model that we need to put in place that we see tomorrow. If we feel we are too old now, okay, then I should have done this in 20 years ago, no problem. Let's start something that we can pass on to the next generation. As an Ummah in southwestern Nigeria, we have not done well. This is the time we need to look at ourselves in the face and begin to tell ourselves the truth. Alhamdulillah, the companion is positioned appropriately, and you can provide enough business consultancy to the Muslim population in the whole of Southwest because you have demonstrated a lot of leadership. But you need to drill it down. You need to start having serious incubation centers where you need to start nurturing new set of businesses. You see, this dawah that we're doing, people will stop listening to you very soon. The new frontiers of dawah is not all of your food. When people are hungry, you just walk past you. They will not listen to you. But I want us to take two learnings, which I will use to wrap up this discussion. The first set are the Jehovah's Witnesses. They are like an outcast group within Christianity. The number is so tiny, but you can't fail to notice them every Thursday. And they have a new kiosk, and somebody sits on it, around it for 2 or 3 people, and they have the Awake, as well as the Watch Tower magazine. And they ensure that all these printings and editing and everything is done by them. And they are making consistent progress. That is their own dawah. When last have you ever seen them on the road raising money for anything they want to do? In the suburbs of Lagos, they are the largest owner of real estates, mostly shopping malls and shopping complexes. And that is where they make money from. The third group that don't have any form of dawah, and I didn't know this by observation. I actually had it from a colleague who is a professor at the Lagos Business School. We share 3 small offices. The Lagos Business School, by the way, is owned by the Catholic. So we share 3 small, one small office, 3 of us inside. And myself and the Pentecostal guy would always have discussion and argument and debate relating to religion and rest. And Uso came into the class and said to me, he said, I always like your discussion, Dr. Salahuddin and the other gentleman, Henry. He said, I always like your discussion. But you know, we as Catholics, we don't preach and we don't converse. So what do? He said, we stay at the point of vulnerability. And I kept quiet as if I've never had it in my life. So I was a little quiet and I looked at him Or like every part of my body was shaking, I was only controlling it. So I lost work. And people who know me that they know that to keep me off balance is very important. But that kept me completely off balance. So I had a class, so I postponed the class. I asked another person to take this class, and I would come for the class. Because if I had gone for that class, I would not well. So after the day, I sat close to him. So let's talk. If you make this statement, what do you mean? He said, yeah, I noticed that you were off balance. I said, yes, I was. He said, you see, we build hospitals. And when you don't have money to pay for your health, you will come. So we provide the medical care for you and just for that. So we have soup kitchen where we provide food. So you are hungry, you can't go to the mosque, you come, we just provide. Simple. We have ophthalmological centers for the eyes. So you can't see. And we tell you, Mary, the mother of Jesus, will give you eyesight. And we go in there and do the surgery for you, and we pray for you, and we come back. And I think it's enough. These businesses are not funded. These are businesses. Don't forget. And somebody is paying for it. We are the one paying for it. I went to the anesthesia hospital along Agege Road. They have an anesthesia hospital there. Now it is a 7-story building from one kiosk. And the people I met there, they were the majority. They were people who belonged to my father's group. Our father, and that's my father's group. So I met quite a number of them there. They came for eyesight. And I look at the place, they're a very small place. I said, so what is it in this place that we can't do? But we have not learned to collaborate. We want to do it alone. I'm happy to have a lot of organizations. Take the messages back to your organization. The companion, NASFA, all of the organizations. You must learn to work together. If you don't work together, there will be no business. There was no business yesterday. Thank God yesterday it was even better. Our fathers were the largest owner of bakeries. Bakeries in the past, almost already that. Those bakeries are no longer there. They collected them from them. Today, we are complaining. Should our children complain tomorrow? If we want to stop the problem of tomorrow, then all of us here will owe that responsibility. Every child must be your child. Every Muslim child must be your child. You must take interest in them. Don't go and be, I see, I'm enjoying myself, I'm fine. Or like doctor said, don't say, I'm enjoying myself, I'm buying a for 75,000. That is school fees for 2 people. Don't worry, even if they take it like that, so it's very important for us. And we must tackle this problem head on. There are people that are vulnerable. There are MSMEs, but they are vulnerable because they don't have capital. It's not as if they are handicapped. They don't have capital. I tell you, 200,000 naira, even at today's client, we get them off the ground. 200,000 will get them off the ground. So how many of those are we been able to identify as a companion? And that we're then looking at them and saying, beyond money, we also want to give you the training to be successful. You can now have your and your business with MSMEs and not doing well. You are not making use of it. You don't need to call me. I was running away from this brother when he was bringing the invitation. I said, why should you want to give me this invitation when you brother is here? What do you want to do? He knows that he's my teacher. So we have to look at this differently. We have to be pragmatic. We can't take the back road any longer. We have to sit on the driver's seat and drive it. Go on any waste place where they drop waste in Lagos. And this is an experiment I've done. And with this, I will just use it to close my discussion. I went to the one close to Ojota. And I just picked randomly 3 people on that place. I just picked 3 people. And behold, there are 3 prophets of God on the gospel. One of them is Yaya, the other is inside, the other one is Muhammad. They are names. 3 prophets of God, all on those names. Is that what we should be doing? I think we need a change of orientation and a change of mind. And by the time we're able to put all of that together, we then begin to look at business differently. I know there will be further engagements. Inshallah, we'll have a question and answer session. But with this view, I've done the slide, I'll send the slide to you, but I just think that it is not what I want to come and describe a very beautiful slide. We need to engage. We need to engage. And we need to engage differently. It won't be, oh, I got to be in fact, I'm not talking to you to enjoy it. I'm talking to you for you to start reflecting about it. And let's start taking actions. And now I'm challenging you that for members of the companions, start sending proposals to the center, saying that we can do this differently, we can look at this differently, we can do this differently. Start challenging the leadership. I joined the chairman to pray for Daniel, that as he has done well, Allah had more load to his load. Done well, we have to challenge you more. Now, I did not somebody I'm very familiar with. They are good. I've also seen your number connected. You ask Dr. Tunde Kola, you tell me that I'm not like trouble. Because I will now start calling you all the time. I'll start asking very difficult questions. You tell me, I'm not a very good person. Because I will now start disturbing you and I'll start asking you for that discussion. How far are we going forward? So Allah is easy for us. Whatever I said this morning that is good and acceptable, it is from Allah and from His Messenger that Allah has said for us. Whatever I said that has gone contrary to that, it's from me and it's from the Shaitan that Allah forgive me and Allah forgive me. Takbir. Please, I say so. People obey, please obey. One thing I'm very glad about is that he discarded his slides and he spoke from the heart. He just speak those things that are very important to us. And I won't make any effort to summarize them. Because when we are in this kind of gathering, people will have taken different things depending on what touches you most. And I want to believe you have taken things that are important to you. What I've said earlier is that you should focus on yourself. So out of those things that he has said, what are the 1 or 2 things that resonated with you? What are those 1 or 2 things? Business. Láti kúrò bílé eléyìí máa ń láti ṣe díẹ̀ sí, máa ń láti tẹ̀ra mọ́ mo ṣe ń ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ lọ. Don't forget that the business of business is to make money. Ethically. So what you gbà níyànjú? Mo sọ pé ẹjẹ́ àfọ̀rọ̀ tó bá lẹ̀ ẹjẹ́ focus lórí ara wa. Ètò jẹ́ tiwa as a company. But I'm not challenge you. You know, we used to have business clinics. We used to invite ourselves. We used to challenge ourselves. We used to even have input into our businesses, even as individual business owners. Let's go back and see how you repackage. Not necessarily in the same way it was before, but also in line with the current realities. We can still help ourselves. And you have resources, too many resources that you can leverage on. Now it's almost 12:25. I want to give more generous time for questions. I will start with first, or let it see madam question. You
for the madam question on you. I will take the first 3 questions here. The first 3 questions here. Our brothers, 3 questions. Our sisters, 3 questions. When we answer all of that, maybe because of doing that, those of you who are raising your hand, maybe your question also might have been answered. So, 1, 2, 3. As you did already, number 3. Sisters, I'll make it okay. Okay. 1, 2. Ẹ̀yà ìdìbò mẹ́ta. Mo fún yín slọ́ọ̀dù méjì. Ẹ̀mú méjì. Okay, question, comment, we will take Papa. So, yes. Blue, yeah. Okay. Great. So let's ask the questions. Please, no questions should be more than 30 seconds. And just ask questions. Makiwa, okay, Makiwa. Just go straight to your questions. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My question is just
Introduce yourself.
I'm Latif Awojobi, FC as well. My question is the challenge that you threw to us, like a business that can sustain 3 generations, not ordinary business. I'm looking at a company or societies that, like Alhaji Bukola said, that a business training that not ordinarily that you are thinking alone. If you are thinking alone, you might not get it. But we need a thinking tank in each society in such a way that we can establish such a business that sustain 3 generations and in different sectors. I'm in service sector. I'm a tax consultant, capital accountant, I run audit space. But in that kind of a situation, I run a business, a sole proprietor. But what we did in our own is that we did collaborations. But because we have done it before, but there's a lot of disappointment, there are a lot of side thought, a lot of challenges that we face. But how do we sustain such a service to sustain itself for 3 generations?
Okay, thank you. The question is clear? Thank you. Number 2.
My name is Olaji Yeliaku from Alimosho Company. I want to just expect challenge questions to the company. We are fond of talk shows. Company will come with a lot of topics. We discuss it. Thereafter, nothing thereafter. This is another one. We are in Unilag about 5 years ago when we invited Vice President. Sanusi was also there, former governor of Nigeria, Central Bank. A lot of discussions. Thereafter, nothing happened. And we call ourselves Association of Muslim Professionals in Business and Professions. The question is, after this talk show, what next?
Thank you so much. Adekona, Alhaji Fatai Adekona.
Yes, I just want to remind us that something like this happened during the tenure of Governor Arahu Arebe. Special advisor on food security came to companion session like this he talked to us, and 3 of us started doing something. We could not come out of it doing something well. That time, myself, was African Development Bank now. And Omowami. The 2 of us decided that, okay, we want to do a follow-up, and we went to school. We want to start doing business of ramp party. We discussed with everybody here and there, and they took us to one place. Whether in the long and short of the story is that we were allocated ranches. 3 ranches were allocated to companions. We registered a cooperative, Fagbewesa Osogbo Companion Cooperative Society. We started doing something, we ended up doing nothing. My challenge here is, I want to show to companions, can we take up something from that point? The certificate is somewhere, the process has started, but we cannot continue. How can we start doing something? I'm available, though I cannot see, but I think the strength is there, and we can do something great for this company. Thank you very much.
Thank you. 2 out of 3 questions for the company. Our sisters, starting from my wife.
Mine is not a question, like I said. I just want to contribute to what our facilitator said. Can you hear me now? When you are talking about collaboration, I have a travel agency, and part of what we do is Umrah and Hajj. And I will tell you, this year we did collaboration. We have so many companies that did Hajj last 137 companies to be precise. So at a point, Saudi said they are going to register only 10 companies. So the government came in, and eventually they made just 40 companies. So all others now, we have to come together, and we move together, and we did it successfully. Though there are challenges, of course, that will be the first time we are going to do that kind of a thing. And because we are coming from different backgrounds, even though we do the same thing, but you know, each company has some things that are peculiar. But we say when we talk about the success rate, 70% is not a bad mark. So what I'm saying is that whether we like it or not, collaboration is key if you want to succeed in any business, because you are bringing different things to bear. So, and it will work, inshallah. Then another thing.
Question
no, it's not a question, sir. Just about what he said. A lot of us, they may not want to do anything. And what I mean is that we like, as Muslims, we like begging. We like free things. So you just, and even with phones, you see a lot of messages, people telling you, and sometimes when you don't want to answer, you feel, and it's in the Quran that we should give. But sometimes we are saying, why can't we just sit down and find something doing? When you can see somebody that is having maybe physical or any challenges, they are striving to work and to make ends meet. Whereas you see a lot of us, in fact, the way they will dress very well, and they do not want to do anything. So that's a challenge, and I think we need to address that too. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. That's an entrepreneur in the house. Sharing experience. Also sharing experience on collaboration. For the 2 businesses you run, both of them are through collaboration.
Salam alaikum. My name is Elijah Ashiru Rashida from Kitojo Tauzra Zone. Usra, coordinator of the Criterion. I want to ask a question when Dr. Popola mentioned about ethical behavior, and it was repeated by the guest speaker, citing the example of where you have 30,000 naira worth of rice in your store, and it has now risen to 80,000. How do you sell it? For me, it happens when I sell kerosene. When you buy kerosene at lower price, sometimes it will go up. You don't have option other than to sell at the new price so that you'll be able to meet up with the new cost. Now, we are now talking about the Islamic aspect of it. That ṣebí ẹ̀bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run ni, ṣebí iye kan lẹ́ra, kí ló dé wá fẹ́ tà ní iye báyìí? Forgetting that we still buy new products, buy new consignment. How do we go about this? Do we sell at the rate that they are selling, that we will now borrow money to buy the new consignment, or how do we go about it? Salam alaikum.
Audience.
The last one. Yes, thank you.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Kifaya Adekote from NASFAT. In the lecture, he mentioned in his discussion that the POS business will be no more in 3 years' time. Please, I want him to expatiate more on it so that those of us in POS business, you know how to link into other things before the period.
Thank you. Fantastic question. Thank you so much. So what we are going to do now, the guest speaker needs to talk to the press for 2 minutes. So you can go. While he is out there 2 minutes, the companion will ask all the questions that are related to them, and then he will come back to answer your questions. If he's not back early enough, I will go into his shoes and try to respond to some of the questions. Companion.
Mr. Chairman, sir, the guest speaker, has it gone? Okay. The Criterion, the topic of today, I know it will generate this kind of interest that it has elicited in members. You see, all the economies of the world, and the guest speaker and our chairman has rightly put it, all these nations in the world, they rely majorly on MSME for, the kind of growth that you see in many of the prosperous countries. The mention of China, India, and even some of the developing economies around us. That is where they make the kind of impact that you see them make. I remember very vividly about 40 years ago when we were young, we all used to laugh at the Chinese when they bring their fake products to us. We say, these things are not good enough. But today, do you know that even the very best economy, the US, it is in China that they manufacture most of their products today. Therefore, one of the reasons why I decided to attend this program too is to come and encourage us as members that this is the way to go. Nobody should be telling us that because our high population. That is why we are not making it. We are getting it wrong. China has over 1.6 billion people today. India has about 1.4, 1.3, 1.4 billion today. And they are taking advantage of their massive population to make economic progress and water. So please, my brothers and sisters who have already ventured into MSME, I want to encourage you. It is not good to be shifting business. The guest speaker and the chairman have emphasized that. Wherever you are, you know, in those days, our mothers, our fathers, when they are blacksmiths, they stayed by their job. And you can't imagine how these people raise the kind of fund with which they build houses where they keep their families and make the economy run. It's because of their consistency. So please, my brothers, it is not the quantum of money that you have that make you to impact in your environment. It is your attitude, your consistency, and water. There are two questions for the companion, which I will quickly look at. Yes, my brother, you are right. We have been challenging ourselves a long time that companions are in the habit of packaging very beautiful programs like this. And more or less, it can be taken as a talk show, like you rightly put it. 3 years ago, when we had this topic on Islamic finance, when Sanusi came, you know, we challenged ourselves. And that was the time we decided that, you see, as an organization, yes, we have not been, doing much in terms of impact in the society. But we did recognize that one of our Islamic sister organizations, they floated a bank that they call Islamic Welfare Bank in Ilorin, where I reside. Okay? So the companion, we had a meeting with them, and what they are doing is to leverage on the present Islamic banking system. And they were doing core Islamic bank, in London. So we collaborated with them and we started putting some funds into their hands. Yeah? We believe that, inshallah, at the appropriate time, we will be reporting whatever progress that we have been making. And we are challenging ourselves as companions individually too. This is the way to go. Individuals, some of us, we started also looking at that direction to make sure that we start doing something. Inshallah, just a matter of time, we will be seeing the result. That's on that. Alhaji Adeton also mentioned this issue of ranching in Osun State. Of course, let us be very frank with ourselves. There is no business that will not have its own challenge. Any business you are doing and you have not faced challenges, know that it's just a matter of time. That challenges are coming. Okay? So, what is important is this consistency that we have been talking about. You need to stand up to face those challenges, and inshallah, once you do all the elements that the guest lecturer and our chairman has mentioned to you, in terms of, looking for competent hands to handle your business for you, collaborating with similar organizations where you can put your resources together I can assure you, you will be able to surmount whatever problem that come our way. The issue of the ranches, I'm sure, I'm not aware that that issue has come to our table. We will look at the issue that are involved, and inshallah, we will provide appropriate solutions so that our various programs and talk show will not just be for gathering alone. We will have concrete evidence that will show as some of the actions that the companion has been taking over time. Thank you.
So we'll come back to thank you, Amir, for responding and for some other things you have said. I'll take that as your goodwill message. So that you won't need to talk about that again. I won't really give enough time to people to contribute. So our guest speaker is here. So we'll then take on some of the questions. We'll go for another round of questions after this.
Thank you very much. Okay, so the first question, having service companies going through intergeneration businesses. And honestly, this should be the easiest for us because there are examples already on the ground. If you look at organizations that have seen 30, 50, 70, 80 years, especially in the areas where you operate, you will see that these are organizations that have done things. If you study them, you see some of the things they've done and they've put in place and they've been able to grow their businesses. Now, so we can take in the area where you operate, in the finance, accounting, and tax section. You can take a look at KPMG. What have they done? What is the model? They've brought in people, they've worked with them, they've grown them, they've made them partners. So we have a pipeline where we can actually bring in people and graduate them like this. If we have such pipeline, the business will live beyond us. They will live beyond us. Now, if you look at other businesses again in the FMCG sector, look at the business like Coca-Cola. Okay? These are businesses that have stayed for years. Look at businesses like Nestle. Okay? These are businesses that have stayed for years. They don't have magic. What they've done is that they have run the organization professionally. So they are there and they create succession. The major challenge is how to get successors. Even as Islamic organizations, look at Companion. Look at the average age of all of you that are heading the Companion now. Add 10 years to it and ask yourself where it will be. Who are the people that will succeed you? Then you know you have a succession process. So if you don't start now, all of you will get old at the same time. And there will be nobody behind you. See, Baba 70 is already here. So, and if you don't all get it, all of you already are gray. So, if you don't create that, I'll give you an example with the organization that I belong to. I'm a member of the MPAC, the Muslim Public Affairs Center. I'm the director of projects. And we'll all look at ourselves and we'll say, we're in trouble. We are all almost on the 6th floor. You understand? And what do? So let's start bringing in volunteers. This we should have done 10, 15 years back. But we have to start doing it now. Again, we checked. None of our children is a member of the empire. Challenge number 2. So we have to start going home and by force and by fire, start coercing them. It doesn't work. Because we have not built that interest. We have not built that interest. Even football teams are better than us. They have feeder clubs. We didn't create that feeder. Okay? So we now did random interviews. And so they said, I should make up 4 people. Director of finance and admin 4 people, other director 4 people like that, and bring them together. After a long round of interview, we need to now start onboarding them. Then the young men start asking us, so how much is the salary? So we told them, we are volunteers, we have never earned anything. So they say, volunteers, and you are writing all these tasks. No, we are not ready to volunteer. And that was the end. Now we're back to square one again. So, then that challenge exists. Organization has said, no, we don't have that problem. It's a lie. That problem exists everywhere. So we need to start very early. Start building management training program. Create that pipeline. Let them fund it. You know, so that because the new world of work is changing. You understand? And as far as they are concerned, they are looking out. So if you need 15, you are probably employing 45. Because 1 month, 1 week, they are out. Right? Those are just got job. And 2 weeks ago, just said to me, I think I have a better job. I said, no, you can't get a better job. The person that gave you that job is my mentor. What do you want him to say of me? He said, go and solve your problem with him. So I said, no, I can't go and solve my problem with him. You are part of my problem and you have to take it. I had to personally write to the new guy who gave her a job that she's not going to resume. I had to go to the organization myself and say, she's not resuming. That's what I had to do. And say, okay, so I was using a course, but for how long will I be able to use that course? So those are the challenges. So you have to create that ladder for them to see something that is interesting them. But before you be able to do that. And I think if you do that, you see organizations that will see tomorrow. And you send people out, build that. There are organizations that are struggling. And if you go in and you want to actually revive, you need to put structure in place for that organization to see tomorrow. I hope that helps. Okay, my own questions are very true. So, yeah, okay, alhamdulillah, I just pick my, there are two, there are actually three. So one is a comment on Ram Patney. You see, I spent the first 40 years of my life outside of southwestern Nigeria. The amount of Yoruba I can speak, if I compare it to the amount of Hausa and Fulde that I speak, is actually very tiny. Because I speak more of Fulde and Hausa than Yoruba. The first 13 years, after I read the Quran from my father, he sent me to his friend in Adamawa State, Gongola State there. So I went to the Fulani Sheikh and that is where I learned from. So I was in the bush for 13 years rearing cattle. So you can't begin to go into the business that you don't understand. Rearing cattle is different. I have a good friend in Ibadan and it's successful. Because I understand it. I rear cattle for 13 years. So why would I not do it? I know what they should eat and what they should not eat. I know what they should drink and what they should not drink. If they are ill, I know what plants to give to them. And I'm not a veterinary doctor. So understanding the core of those businesses is also important. It's not important that you must know all, but you must bring people who know to help you. That's what I want to chip in on that. Okay, so the POS business, they are a child of necessity. And every child of necessity does not see tomorrow. So they are temporal. So if you are doing it today, start looking for something that will replace it. Sometimes you go into business not because you're going to do it forever. You just say, what are the opportunities that are inherent in this business within the next 3 years? Can I go in and take those opportunities to build the next set of business? So that is what you should believe. But if you think you just sit down and those years will be there, forget it. They won't be there. Those umbrellas will disappear. You can discover that even now, the government is making it difficult. They are telling them that all of you must have a corporate affairs registration. Very soon they will start taxing. So, and very well, the local government will also start asking you to take permits. When they start knowing that money is coming from, they start putting more pressure on it. Because really, it's also an opportunity for fraud. That's the reality. The model was not set up to be like this. It was set up to be something else. But this has come out of it. But they have to sanitize it as you go on. Okay, so just be ready. Yes, now there was the price of rice and replacement costs. Okay, so all the theory we are speaking around me, how do I replace it, how do I do that? That your theory is the capitalist system of doing business. It doesn't pass the Islamic palace. First of all, you are not supposed to hoard. You are not supposed to hoard. And when you start hoarding, you start creating trouble. So, what are you supposed to do when you now have what you have hoard? You have to go back to the price when you stock. That is the price you go to. Now, when the Prophet ﷺ was organizing Medina, one of the things he discouraged is when people bring in substandard and standard products and mix together, as well as when they hoard, to sell at a price that is different. Now, anytime when you hoard to stock and you sell at a price that is different, you are taking advantage of the masses. It's highly unethical. So, he will tell you, now I'm wearing a different cap, right? I'm wearing my cap of Islamic finance. Okay, so there are three things that will surround that all of them does not make sense when you bring them into Islamic finance. Riba is involved, Garar is involved, Maisir is involved. So three things are involved which are all out of Islamic finance. So you have done some level of gambling. And Islamic finance does not encourage gambling. It's Maisir. Just like it can ruin you, it can also ruin the people who are buying it. And there is nobody that benefits from gambling except the owner of the gambling table. Nobody wins from gambling except the person who owns the gambling table. There is no two ways about it. Now, because you have also introduced garage, uncertainty in a higher percentage, it makes that business not afford. When you bring it to Muhammad, gambling and a honest trader on the day of Qiyamah occupies the same position with the prophet and the saints. The unwise trader who cheats the people and takes advantage of the price has a different judgment. Allah rescue us. When it is not hoarded, time has passed on it. What do you call hoarding? You have it in large quantity and price has changed. What has changed? He said the position of Muhammad is that you buy and sell on the spots. It's a spot price when you are taking possession. You can take physical possession or administrative possession. But once you are taking possession, what you must make sure you calculate very well is your costs. Not the cost at which you buy it alone. What is the cost of purchase? What is the cost of transportation? What is the cost of storage? What is the cost of handling? Once you have established that, then you put your profits. You now say, what is the maximum of the profit for which you can put? He says you can't go more than 50% of your cost. You can't go more than it. That 50% of your cost, you can't. Now, so in the balance of the Sharia, there are things that you will not be allowed. And we have to be very careful with it. So that we don't start dipping our hand into things that will start making trouble for us. And the Prophet ﷺ has said, for the dishonest trader, he has never been successful. And the definition of success then becomes difficult. You now say, okay, so what about if the price then comes lower? You know, we're talking about with the price increment now. So what about if the price then becomes lower? How should we sell? He said, then you take the middle of the cost position, establishing their necessity. What is the definition of their necessity? It's with Allah. That's where the trouble is. And that is why he said, can you consume riba? He said, yes. When you are in their necessity. And I said, what is the meaning of their necessity? He said, you are ready to explain it to God. Now, me, the praise Allah means my name. I'm not eloquent in speech. So I'm not ready to explain anything to God. I don't want you to give me a free passage. so then it's up to us. And I hope we understand the technicalities now.
Thank you, Takbir. We will have the opportunity of 3 more questions. But before we do that, I'll do 2 things. I will add one or two things to what he has said. Then we begin to also take the goodwill messages. We'll take just about 3 of goodwill messages. So let me support the POS business. So our business is downloading the POS business. So at the moment, downloading my background. Then you can tweak it. If you understand what is my business about. And I'll give you just an example from history of management. They employ a new CEO for Coca-Cola. And then he assembled his people from all over the world to a strategy session and said, okay, who are our competitors? And they tell him, that's a very serious, simple issue now. I want 7 of our best city now. Tony Wells, what that's all. So I don't buy soft drinks were regarded as the competitor of Coca-Cola. And he said he got it wrong. Anybody who is selling what people are drinking is our competitor. Anybody who is selling what people are competitor. That is why today Coca-Cola is in the business of water, business of juice, business of any other thing. So all those ones are also our competitors. So if you understand your business, this is why a lot of businesses die. People really don't understand their business. Typewriter. Ó rò pé ṣe typewriter ló ń ṣe. Ṣe typewriter kọ́ ló ń ṣe o. Iṣẹ́ akọ̀ọ̀kan kádẹ̀mí sọ pé kan ẹ̀ wà ní débù somebody else. So whatever tí wọ́n bá ń lò ní time yẹn láti ṣe nǹkan yẹn ló yẹ kó lọ rà. Kí ni iṣẹ́ POS wà fún? Kí ni iṣẹ́ POS wà fún? Access to wàá wo business and what else? Àwọn tó wà yìí kí ni how else can I satisfy them other than this POS? Títí mò ń lọ gbọ́ngàn nìyẹn. You have to have a broader view of what your business is all about. A lot of us have that narrow perspective of our business. What else can I do to mass out almost the same thing to the same set of people? Well, I'm at the Kulebeke. So that the POS will back up all that. POS ọ̀kan mọ́ àwọn tó ní kùn yẹn will still be there for you. So that's just to support what he has said. So now, go to my brother. Your own is the easiest one. You have case studies all over the world. The easiest one in Nigeria was Akintola Williams. Akintola Williams established an accounting firm. What's the name of the firm today? Deloitte. What did he do? So you can bring other partners, other firms, and make it like that, so that you can win bigger businesses and bigger transactions. Don't equally aware that your 1% is of 1%. Then you have 1% not only to accounting, to law, and some other professions like that. Beyond that, you can also now make your staff to become partners. So when you promote people to become partners, that business already outdating you, because you have to exit at the point in time. Our new partners here, our lower marron business here. Ẹ wá lè láre fẹ́ǹtì dé o, ó ti kúrò ní business yìí o, gbogbo owó epo tí máa ń lò láyé ẹ̀yìn lẹ́ẹ̀ma sọ sí àlìjámọ̀ ọlọ́wọ́ gidi. Ọ̀kẹ́ sọ pé gbogbo ó ti kúrò fẹ́ẹ̀mù yìí o, ABCD will still be for me. Or you can say, because of it, you cannot change the name for as long as I'm alive. So you can do so many things. Do you understand? That's just an example. The same thing happens to a lot of our businesses as well. Succession plan is okay. Now, let me go now to first goodwill message. I will give that to YKO, Karim, our former Amir. Thereafter, I will give to our DOT chair. Then when I can take it, see, I will take other questions, and then I will come to Alaji Onibo before I go to our current national Amir. That's the number of goodwill message. And then I will take one from the Canterian. One goodwill message from the Canterian. So, Alaji Toki Bello will ask his questions. My sister will ask his questions. Then I need one more. Okay. That's all. Brothers, you ever been exactly there? Because of time. Message first. Take the questions, and then while he's reflecting over the question, you reply on the message.
Assalamu alaikum. I will listen to the lectures. And alhamdulillah that this lecturer is going with the Sharia rule. And Allah prohibits Muslims to secure loan that has element of interest. And I believe, been in business for almost 2 centuries ago. Two decades, I'm sorry, 2 decades. Applying for loans, either in bank or any government financial window, you are finding it a little bit difficult. Sir, which way out? Secondly, we talk of collaboration. Ketodota of the companions set up almost 3 businesses. 1, we have farm pharmacy. 2, we have sweet fortune, which went into bread business. Above all, we have cooperative society. But today, there are no more. Please, push me out. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Christina Adam. I'm just trying to comment and also to give a feedback on the table. There are 2 things I picked there, although I didn't really do it. One is think outside the box, and secondly, to get your children into your business. So I'm telling you this out of experience. So, and I want you to take note. We have said that we should get our children to be involved in business. Fine, get them involved in business. Aside from being early, you should be firm, disciplined, and strict with them when they are into the business. Stay around and watch them. After 22 years in the financial industry, I decided that I want to be an entrepreneur. Which business do I want to do? Which one do I have to? I opted out for oil and gas, but I cannot do it alone. So I have a son that he doesn't want to even work for anybody, except he wants to be an entrepreneur after 2 master's degree. I said, okay, come together, I think we have something. But you must go and learn what you want to do. He said, well, how will you learn? You will learn from the roots, which is being an attendant. He said, let me think about it. After the 3rd day he came, he said, okay, I'm ready to work as an attendant. I said, great. So petrol attendants, after 2 masters. So in the morning, he will park his car, long drive. He will not trek to that filling station. He's learning as attendant. The first day they trained him. After the 3rd day, they gave him those who could be selling for. He said, Mommy, I've sent this for. I said, great, congratulations. Around 10 p.m., I was watching. When they closed, and I said, Mommy, we are now closing, but I didn't balance. I said, what happened? He said, I have shortage of 70,500. I said, how come? He said, when he used the POS paper, he counted it that it has 36 POS paper. But when he wanted to close, 2 is missing there because he numbered it. So everything is 17,500. I said, great. He said, well, somebody gave me money. People gave me money, dash. I said, how much is the money? He said, 950,000, 950 naira. I said, okay. So I will declare the money they gave me. He said, 950 naira. That they said he should take it, that is a dash for him. He now said, what of the 17,500? They said he should pay. He now said, Mommy, you should have. I said, you will pay because it's negligence. And you think I will come here tomorrow? I said, definitely, because you have 4 months training there. So he debited his account. He sent the alert to me. He paid 17,500. He now waited. After 11 o'clock, he now called, Mommy, I will soon get to him. I said, but when he now got to him, he said, I left things today. I said, what is it? He said, they stole my paper. I said, they stole your POS paper. He said, yes. I said, why did you allow them to? He said, he numbered it, or you didn't sign it. So you need to sign across the POS paper that it was his colleague because he saw somebody stealing. When he said he didn't steal his own, I said, fine. So you learn every day now, you sign across. After training for 4 months, we now started our home. So we are selling. We sell at he's an engine and he's still a manager and attendant in his own filling station. So you can wear 2, 3 different caps at the same time in a tough way. So we now started the business. About 4 or 5 months after the business, the transformer of the street got spoiled. Up to now from March last year, this year till now, we didn't get light. So we 100% reliable on generator. Those are business challenges that we go through in Nigeria. So, and we put our filling station under an independent major marketer. So there is no way you can sell more than 7 naira margin on it. And you pay attendance, we are spending 45,000 naira on the diesel every day. So the margin is so tiny. And our agreement in his offer letter as a manager is that you get a basic salary and you get a PLP, which is performance pay, on your scorecard. For every liter you sell, you collect 50 kobo. Said he thought it was a joke. So we started. We were paying salary, which was collecting, it was enjoying it. When the margin was not thinner, and I sent the first mail to me, I said, well, based on the performance score, you are on 3-month probation. You said, Mommy, what is that? I said, that's
Sorry.
Yes. So the second day, I removed the PLP from the salary, so it was getting only the basic. Last month, I didn't pay him salary. He now called me. I said, yes, I said you should put a business strategy plan. That find it if you are not getting enough margin, can you first of all do environmental scanning, how people are doing it and they are not doing it? He now came in with a proposal. The first person he addressed, he said somebody built a 3 filling station within 3 years. I said that person was there and I'm not about. He said how come? He now went closer to go and learn. He discovered they were cheating. They were just declaring the tank. And also, if they give them products cheaper, they will put more in their own filling station and sell the other one on black market. I said, you can do that we are Muslim. That one is not realistic. Go and look for another proposal. He now came. He said, Mommy, don't you think it's act of wickedness for somebody to be working the way he's working and we are not paying him? I said, okay. He is thinking as a manager now. So I said, don't you think it's the greatest wickedness for somebody to open a business like this? And he is not making money and you want them to pay you. Now look at you. So, now he came with another proposal now. We have started market storm, combing all around. That's thinking outside the box. He knew that we are not playing well in AGU because of the location of the filling station. He now said he will go into supply. Whereby he won't run diesel, he won't pay staff, he's just taking the bulk payment from Abaka and because I said congratulations, sir. If we get result, we'll pay you next month. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's the last question, right? Yes. Yes. Thank you so much for that example. That was a very good example. For those of you who know Mrs. Kokola, when she said she wanted to run the government travels, after we had 4 managers in 5 years, and she said it was okay, the manager can come on, I'll run. Mrs. Kokola had first degree, second degree in education. And she was in the Lagos State government as an educationist for almost 30 or 40 years. So she did an attachment with a travel agency business for 3 months before she could even step at least inside the government travels. Today she had all the certifications that you needed to run a travel agency business. That's the way to go. Yes.
I'm Mr. Edo from Ikorodu, and alhamdulillah that I'm opportuned to be with 2 of the Islamic organizations, very important Islamic organization in Lagos State. I mean in Nigeria. My question is as regards government intervention to SME. Because we, the Muslim, the conscious Muslim, we, I in particular, are putting it to them. When it comes to government intervention, it doesn't favor the Muslims. There are many interventions to farmers, to women in business. Most of them are interest-based, which we Muslims are not going to accept because of our faith. So I've been putting it to them. Why are they not giving us ones that are Islamically based? We have Senator Abiru. I was one of you that I was trying to the flag of Senator Abiru, 9% interest, which I cannot receive. NISA is 75%. There's LSC, the Lagos State Employment Trust, have a loan of 5 single digits for SME, but we cannot receive it. Sir, Daddy said that it's possible to, you can collect it back if it is necessary. Can we say my situation as a farmer? For a farmer now we need finance. All the ones they introduce to us as farmer in Lagos are interest-based. So what are the Islamic organizations doing for us as Muslim farmer and Muslim business owners?
Thank you so much. So I will take the first good message. Alhaji Waikio Karim, a POT member and former national leader of the company. 1 minute.
I want to congratulate the National Amir and my Amir for Lagos State. They have done very well. And the result of good work is more work. I will promise you that. Now, the companion has come a long way. I don't want to go into the beginning, but today I realize that whatever we want to do, we always do it well. We wanted unity among Southwest.
I just want to join us that we intend to close here by 1:30. Please, can you just hold on by 1:30? We try to close us in the next 10 minutes. Thank you.
We wanted unity among the Muslims of Southwest. We said the Muslim is a success story. We wanted Companion House. We have set at it. We are getting success. We have started many businesses. It will not work. It will still work. I want us to have a companion product. If it is as we have some product like soap, let us have it. Let us be employed. Let us migrate from being an employee to employer. Let us be an employer of labor. I want to call the National Amir and the State Amir to please set at this. We have had a lot of lectures today, and we should also, as a group now, please most of our members are professionals. Let us learn from today's lecture. Let us forgive ourselves. We are forgiving ourselves. Let us collaborate. Let us try to work together. We will forgive ourselves and try to work together and build our fortune. Let's do more to be able to build a fortune. Let us do more to be able to do better in our real businesses, and we will be better off than this. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you. Thereafter, I'd like to hear from you.
The sister spoke about the loan not having, always having coming with interest. And she spoke about NISA, and the consultant to NISA, and there is a Hispanic partner, so maybe you are not applied. For NISA loan, have Hispanic partner, and I'm a consultant to them. You need to apply for it and go through the process. If you pass, then they give you the loan. And we actually structure it. Structure it like a card. Structure it possibly. That's how we structure it. NISA loan. I don't know.
Bluetooth mode.
We did a representation. We did a representation to the Lagos State loan that she spoke about. I know that at the beginning it was interest-based. However, there was a representation to them. I'm not sure whether they actually had an Islamic version of it. Now, the challenge we always have is that we want to have everything and every factor of competition to be positive for us, and it doesn't work like that. I'll give you one instance. I'm also a consultant with the Islamic Development Bank. Last year, they gave us $470 million to pass to SMEs in Nigeria through the Development Bank of Nigeria. So we start with the Development Bank of Nigeria, create an Islamic desk, create an Islamic product, and we say to the Muslim banks around, we take the money and offer this cash to the Muslim entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs came back and say, it's too expensive for them. So, it's difficult. Meanwhile, shouting that it's too expensive for them, we're shocked. Because we make sure that the banks never get anything from it. We give the bank the money, and we say, use this money, invest it in Sukuk for 6 months, thereafter start giving it to the people at your management fee, at the fund management fee. And they still say it's expensive. So why is it expensive? You don't need money back to your fee. So it's a challenge to give Muslim money. We complain that it is raining, it is sunny, it is windy, it is cold, it is hot. At what point? There's no money in the world that is free. When they say it's an Islamic money, it's not free, it's not free, sabilillah. It's not. It's not free. Those money are not grants. The institutions who are giving those money out, they have staff. They must be paid. They have to.
Line in.
They have to pay for all of these things. There must be a cost attached. And those costs are that you have to pass on to the people who will seek the money. So, what I say is that I think if we want it, and we continuously want this money and we want it available, let us go back to our and let us ask them. Somebody said last week that the money from BOI is cheaper. I said, go and access BOI. But BOI does not have an interest-free loan. The one they have, they pass through to the Islamic banks. The one that comes through to the Islamic banks, they come at the markup. It's not free. It's not a free loan. It has to come up with the markup. So if grant, we need to actually ask ourselves, what kind of money do we want? Is it free? And when you see the SME report that the Chairman Amir mentioned earlier, the biggest money there are free because they are from families and friends. Those are the kind of things we want to do for. If you have a family or a friend that has free money that can give to you, you will get it. But if you have to go through an institution, it's not going to be free. It will not be free, honestly. If it is free, it will be a Qabd al-Hasan. And Qabd al-Hasan, these banks have not amassed enough money to give people Qabd al-Hasan. They've not amassed enough money. What are the Qabd al-Hasan? They are the money that they didn't actually work for in the course of normally doing their business, and the money have come in. So if they keep it, the Sharia advisory board will not allow you to add it to their money. They will tell them to set it aside, and they will then give it to people as grants. So if they give it as grants, entrepreneurs are free to lose the money. But when it is there, which is
not guilty of that.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Number two, I want to congratulate the Lagos District for bringing this program. I congratulate you for this initiative. Number three, I want to advise all the attendees, including our commission. Most importantly, I want to advise you, before you go into collaboration, you must have trust. Because Islam is based on trust. Most of us are not trustworthy, and that is why we are not getting the necessary results. Let me tell you what, I've been in business for almost 10 years. The first thing that gave me was the loan I obtained from the bank. At 20-something% for 2 good years, so I could not make it. Today, I'm still struggling because I have to do it. People had advised. I wanted to run away. They said, don't run away. Business, you cannot run away from business if you want to make it. You have to work ahead. Still, I'm struggling. There are opportunities in what we are having today, whether we like it or not. Whether it's by agri-business, by service business, or anything business, what we need is resilience, consistency, discipline. I mean, most of us who are Muslims, some of us want to beg. And when you beg for money, you take the money, you don't get anything out of it. Because you're already complacent. But that complacency, you will not make it in life. That's the truth I'm saying. It's not a pay, it's not a cost to anybody or anything. It's the way we brought ourselves from. My sister the other time was talking about his child coming to her business. Yes or no? Henry Fajemiroku, when he was alive, in his engineering business, he had one professor that the two of them are working. When one of his sons came on, he has an engineering discipline person. You know what he said? They go and walk outside. For 10 years before he was outside working, but he came, it was after the death of the man that man came back from his country to start running. Similarly, to bring your children to your business, you have to discipline them. You have to give them good training. If not, nothing is going to come out of it. Even for those of us here now, our children are not coming to it. That's possible problem that we have. Every one of them want to have this right. But still, we need to sit them down and advise them. Today, I want to advise all of you to go into business because you are already old. Some of you are 60 or 50, 60 and above. If you are people of my age, you can't do it. If you are of my age, you can't do it. Don't go into business. But be a mentor to your children or your brothers and you, so that we can move on. Some of us were doing start days make company. If you're a salary worker, you cannot make it. It's an advice. I was a salary worker for 22 years. I didn't make it. Even if you are a civil servant, I'm advising if you are a civil servant, go and start looking for another thing hard to do. Unless you cut corners, you won't make it. Thank you.
Amen. The word of the elders. They are mere of the criteria. 1 minute. Then finally,
it's been an interesting session with a lot of takeaway. But my take to us all is that it is not enough to collaborate. It's about the intent of those you want to collaborate with. Because there have been so many collaborations. At the end of the day, trust issues. And majority problem around me is mainly that Ifa. Some people have established schools. So if I'm Muslim, you know that run it down. Need some school fees. At the end of the session, I'm on school. So that's why you know why that. Let's change our orientation. Let's have good intention when we are going into any business. Let's go into collaboration with like minds. Someone you have tested and trusted. And let everything, conditions and terms be properly documented and signed. I'm not overlook documentation aspects. Whatever collaboration, let's make sure it is properly documented and signed. Along with you.
Thank you, my sister. That was a very good one. Very purpose, real advice. Our sisters did fantastic. My sister is I will still talk around our graduates who are not believe people are investing. Now, I have the great pleasure to welcome to our midst our Imam, former chairman and CEO of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. Tekbir. Stars no man pay. Imam know that stars no man pay. Azan, July Azan. So we will have time to also talk to us 1 or 2 minutes. For those of you who think going to public service is easy, you can see what has happened. Shouldn't we be celebrating him? So, our concern as a long walker, our concern as a long walker, Ọba tí ó dọ́dún àdúrà ti wá, Ọba tí ó jẹ́ tí ó wọ̀rọ̀ wá o, àwa concern as a long walker. Wọ́n tàbí bí wọ́n lè fi mọ́bílì mú bí o.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Mr. Chairman, sir, sorry for coming late. The guest speaker, sir, sorry for coming late. The Chairman Board of Trustees, sorry for coming late. Amir, I'm sorry for coming late. I hope I apologize. My national president, Mr. President, sorry for breaching the protocol. I remember that. But I'm happy to be here, and again, there is no excuse me and why we can put late to be put on for you. Lórí bí ẹgbẹ́ ṣe pọ̀ tó Nàìjíríà, ẹgbẹ́ kan tí mi jẹ́ mẹ́mbà ẹ̀. Tí inú bá yẹ lọ bí president, you can ask that my name be struck out of the role of the membership, and that's not happening. Well, I want to wish us very well, and I hope that Baba Kurumbi, because the chairman is a scientist in the management of businesses. The guest speaker is a scientist in the management of business as well, and I'm sure that you must have heard so much about it. How good to take my own. Ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan tí mo kàn lè sọ ni pé Ọlọ́run máa fèdè pa wá. Lóòótọ́ ni pé bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí pé bí pọ̀ gan. Ṣùgbọ́n ṣe mọ̀ pé àsìkò tẹ́lẹ̀ mi ṣe ń ra mọ́tò rẹ̀. Àsìkò tẹ́lẹ̀ mi ṣe ń ra ilẹ̀ rẹ̀. Àwọn ilẹ̀ ńláńlá owó lówó ibi rẹwà. Ẹgbẹ́ tí èèyàn bá gbọ́ òye ẹ̀ báyìí, èèyàn á sọ pé ṣé ẹ máa sanwó ni àbẹ́ ẹ̀ kàn kọ́ sí pépà kan. So, and I also believe that this time, like everybody has believed, small business determine the wealth of a nation. And you have no excuse not to complain. Whether you are a graduate, I have seen people who never went to university and they are better. Èmi máa ń láti fi example Dangote compare, and I will end there. Dangote study in a place where the everything about that is very economical and free. Wọ́n sì ní kó máa lọ ṣe lójú báyìí. Because Dangote study and invest in Cairo. Everything about the Cairo nítorí ẹ kó dé oníkóló àṣẹ lójú báyìí. And the man saw that he can do entrepreneurship, didn't join politics, and he succeeded in being named to be reckoned with. I think whatever we must have learned here, which I also will learn, and I want to be a small scale SME too, carbon lolly, kí everybody tó bá ti jáde university kò ṣiṣẹ́, ọ̀rẹ́ bọ́dà láti ọ̀rọ̀ àgbà mi ní kó má wáṣẹ́, èèyàn lè ṣe as exercise. But to be sure that now all of us must go and get to be our entrepreneur. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much, sir. So, National Meal, 1 minute.
Okay. Don't let me do any other. When the guest speaker, when he started the lecture, he was trying to bring a nexus between infrastructural development and business progress. And I want to tie that to the political development of today. Recently, the Supreme Court of Nigeria has granted or has affirmed that our local government is now autonomous. And I think the grassroots is where the head of this nation resides. I want to appeal to us, let us go back to our various domains. The demography of this country has shown that Muslims are in the majority. Okay? So, if we are complaining that Nigeria is not making it, it is we Muslims that were disappointing the nation. Okay? So, if we go back to our local government today, the kind of practice that you saw with them in the past that led to the state government mostly them to the kind of situation we find ourselves today, I think that will not be good for us again. Let us go back and be active participants. You see, it is only when government were able to develop the right infrastructure that all of us, we can go into the system and make our business to be what we want it to become. Okay? So, it is my strong appeal that let's stop playing the kind of passive role that until we have our big people there, we cannot make it. It is untrue. Once there is right environment, you have good roads, you have energy, you have the social amenities that make you to work and your staff to work well. I can assure you, you can make Nigeria to be great again. So I want to commend Lagos District for this program. 2 weeks ago, we were in Abuja for national discourse, and what happened there, this is another, rider to it. You see, people were fond of saying, it is only when I get abroad that I can make it in sport. You see all the foreigners running to Nigeria, and they are still what you don't see, the guest speaker says. Okay? Open your eyes so that you can see all those things. Make your leaders to be accountable. Once you are able to do that, the right environment will be created, and once again, Nigeria can be a prosperous nation. Thank you very much.
So the Amir of Lagos has the stamp of the national name. gbogbo bí o ti ti sọ pé performance yẹn ló wà ní class. So let me round up with my closing remarks. I want to, there will be vote of thanks by the Naibu for Lagos and then closing dua. I want to really say that it was an interesting session for me. Well, I hope you have done, you did the same. You will take one or two things away. Remember where the Lagos started from. Remember what I told you before we had our guest speaker, evidence speaker of today, who gave us doses of what he normally gives to them. Thank you so much. So please know that businesses are just like human beings. They are born and they die. They are born and they die. That's unlike individuals. Businesses can be reinvented in a way that it will be there for a long time. Those of you who are running businesses, that is your challenge. How do you ensure that your business will not die? And for those who have businesses that die, you can always start another one. So business just like human beings. There are businesses tí ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lẹ́yìn náà tó wà, àbí? Bó ṣe rí nìyẹn, testing nìyẹn. Second thing tí mo tún fẹ́ kẹ́ mọ̀ ni pé there is what we call diligence. Every time the man saw any business tẹ́ bá fẹ́ ṣe, make sure pé you strive to be the best in that business. Try to be the best. Ẹ má sọ pé torí pé ẹ ṣe business kan. Ẹnìkan wá jẹ́ neighbor yín, torí kó ṣe sàlámà lẹ́yìn kò gbọdọ̀ má rajà lọ́wọ́ yín. Tí business ní ò bá dáa kò ní rajà wọn. It's about value and it's about ethics. Kò very repeat yẹn ni. Diligence is the cornerstone of successes of most of the businesses. Come out on top. To be a prime mover in your own area. And there's no business. Till in Nigeria, we are over 200 million people. Èyí tí wọ́n bá mú yẹn máa rí fún eyín àdá, eyín kò ràn eyín mọ́ dáadáa, àti fún àtẹ̀dọ́ ẹ̀ kó mọ́, so that you can then become one of the reference points in that business. Remember, you have to pay the price of success. Success in business is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Look at the way Aristotle has taken her son. That was what Ebola Adeola used to do when they started GT Bank. He will go to the teller point, he will be serving people as a teller, so that she will experience what a typical customer will experience. I look forward to seeing him in the next 10 years. He will be one of the movers of the oil industry in this country. Because he has started it. That's the way to go. And that's also a message for young graduates. EA Hans History, EA Hans English, ESC Econs, EA Philosophy, ESC Engineering or DNG. Ẹ̀rọ pẹ́ ti kàwé tán. O lè decide láti wà nílé ọdún méjì, ọdún mẹ́ta, ọdún mẹ́rin, kò máa application. You have lost the essence of your education. The essence of your education is to be able to think outside the box. Tó bá yẹ pé bread ló fẹ́ ṣe, you will be a better baker than tí o lọ sí school. Essence yẹn ni kò jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Most of you travel abroad. Start one day. Ẹ bá dé UK. Ẹ jáde ní airport. Tí taxi fẹ́ gbé yín. Driver tó máa gbé yín ó lè ní master's degree, ó lè ní PhD. That's what the plumber, that's what the electrician. Until we begin to think that way, we'll still keep on getting it wrong. So if you are a graduate today, what does it pay your own yellow daddy at the mom here? What you miss there? What you miss there? And if you are a worker, go back to the share. Wọ́n ní kó máa receive láago mẹ́jọ lẹ́pẹ̀kọ̀tẹ́ ẹjọ́ sáìnì yẹn tó ń débẹ̀ láago mẹ́sàn-án. Ẹlẹ́ máa close láago márùn-ún tó close láago mẹ́rin. Tí wọ́n ní kó o ṣe kan tó o ṣe pẹ̀lú gbogbo agbára ẹ̀. Bó ṣe ń ṣe ẹ̀ náà ló máa ṣe tiẹ̀ náà. Ẹ̀ ń ṣe pé o. That's diligence. This, if you are an employee, do well. If you are an employer, do well. Finally, so everybody should be ready to pay the tax. The money did Dangote to burial, but I have Dangote. So and so many other businesses like that. So Kaluku the master story and to bury in abroad, all like Master Bill in the garage. The garage will be buried. Àwọn náà ní yàrá màmá wa ní yàrá ọ́fíìsì àmì pálọ̀ bàbá wa a lot of people ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ businesses wọn Nàìjíríà and there are success stories to tell. Àwọn tá a já gbàlagbà ẹja máa wọ́n dàn o. But businesses come with big risks. Ẹ má jà take the risk. Ṣé pé ẹ̀ báyìí gbogbo ẹ̀ má lọ di. So alájò ní mo ti sọ sí yẹn. The succession plan ti wáyé nìyẹn tó bá mọ̀ pọ̀ mọ́ jẹ́ òtí rẹ̀ ní ti Sister Scott wá bó ṣe máa máa staff rẹ̀ tí wàá sọ wọ́n di partner tí wàá sọ wọ́n di manager tí wàá sọ wọ́n di àbíbọ̀ ṣe máa pàwọn bí mọ́ra ẹ máa ṣe agreement tó jẹ́ partnership agreement ìwé tẹ̀wà tẹ́fà máa ṣe má sì ṣe ilé bíi pé ó máa gbẹ̀mí ẹ o. Those will be my closing remarks. Ọlọ́run tó bá gbogbo wa. So pé business of business is to create wealth. Tí business tó bá ń ṣe tó bá ti ní pé kò create wealth mọ́ ó destroy wealth kan bí ti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ mìíràn. Ọlọ́run tó ṣàdúrà. Vote of thanks. Vote of thanks, engineer Mr. Sadusi.
Before the vote of thanks, we have the following announcement. Please, after the vote of thanks and the prayer, we urge the participants in particular to allow the female participants to exit the hall. After the men, we can leave. Then secondly, we have one of our sponsors outside. They have their stand there. We urge all of us to check them out, register, and then ask necessary questions. Lotus Capital, a large investment. They stand outside there. Let's check the stand out, register, and then make necessary clarification and inquiries. After, we're going to have our salat at the back there, and then after the salat, we want to urge the companion members that we're going to have plenary session in the same hall. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah, 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 all thanks and adoration is due to Almighty Allah. We thank our chairman of today, Alaji Chidi Kukola, who was the Davos as our sponsor. Exactly 20 years ago, when I came in along with an association of the Lagos District, the complaint that time was more long way the attitude I was in one year was equal. Today, the situation has changed. Have all our headers there, and each time we call on them, they always respond. We thank you sincerely for this. My national mail came from Ilorin. So with our guest lecturer of today, we came all the way from the violence. The Almighty Allah reward you all abundantly. to you all and say Jazakumullah khair. Alhaji Bukola was not alone. The list of sponsors. I have about 3 of them here. They also sponsored our national conference that took place about 2 weeks ago in Abuja. And before that, they have always been sponsors of our programs. Your mighty Allah continue to elevate them. First on the list is Lotus Capital and that investment. Janice Takafu and Dr. Tuke Kupola. Not only that he gave us money, his companies to advertise our creators and make things easier for us. So no matter Allah reward all of you abundantly. And there are also many Muslim organizations that were invited here. We have collaborated to do today's to organize today's program. First on the list is the Criterion. We do not take your regular attendance for granted. We thank you sincerely. May Allah reward you abundantly. Muslim Society Association of Nigeria, Hongwan, Akomio, see him there, EMPAC, Muslim Lawyers Association, TMC, among others. Naswat, to all of you, I say Jazakumullah khairan. I'd like to Mustafa, I would like to thank you sincerely, especially Mustafa Alabi, for doing the mobilization for us. We are all in it together. It is a program, it is a program. So individuals who have been to this location, they want us to go along. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please, before I go, I would like to thank all members of the committee that put together this program together. We have all been excellent.
Thank you. As you thanked us, we also thank you. Now, the last item is closing to our Alhaji Tajuddin, Saida Akolade. And as you're coming forward, my sister looking for non-interest money. We have plenty of them in Nigeria today. I don't think the issue of access to funding that is not interest-based will be any challenge for any Muslim today. If you have the right business and you know where to go. We have microfinance bank that are Islamic based. We have at least 4 banks now, and they are pumping the street looking for you. I know they are pumping the street looking for you. So please, money should be there. Alhaji Akolade, you are here.
Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah for the success of today's program. We pray that He accepts it from us as that of worship. May He also make this point a huge success for us in our individual lives and as a Muslim community. Amen. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم إنا عبيدك بنو عبيدك بنو إمائك في قبضتك نوافينا بيدك ماض فينا حكمك عدل فينا قضاؤك نسألك بكل اسم هو لك سميت به نفسك أو أنزلته في كتابك أو علمت واحدا من خلقك أو استأثرت به في علم الغيب عندك أن تجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلوبنا ونور صدورنا وجلاء آذاننا وذهاب همومنا وهمومنا وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أخيار وسلم تسليما كثيرا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين صلوا على النبي الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله
Please, for members of the companion who are still coming back to the hall, please let us take charge of our belongings. Nobody should leave his belongings here inside the hall. Let's go to the mosque, pray with our belongings, and let's come back here. Assalamu alaikum.
ẹ ti parí streaming àbí. Ó ní òpin kan wà ní ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú.